Hey everybody,
What's up, everyone?
welcome to the IronTrap post Grand National podcast.
This is not as
Boo.
exciting as the last two that we shot, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. Well, they haven't seen that last two.
Yeah, it's true. They're coming out soon. We shot two podcasts when we were in California with Lucky and Piero. So over the next month or so, those will start rolling out.
Yes.
A lot of editing to do on my end, so not looking forward to that part.
And we got another one we're recording next week with another guest. So we're going to try and spread them out so it's not just all guests. So we're going to do one, maybe a couple of these Our Ugly Faces, and then maybe a couple more.
Yep.
I apologize if my voice is all scratchy. I picked up some kind of something on the plane. Not real bad, just been like phlegmy and having to clear my throat.
Yeah,
so,
we went from 80 degrees to 30 degrees, and then our flight home from Atlanta was 90 degrees at the back of the plane.
Oh, that was terrible.
It was flying.
That's probably why I got sick.
Yeah, I felt like I was dying the whole way home.
Yeah.
It was just so uncomfortable.
So I got my
Self-made woman cup.
I got my self-made woman cup with my my British tea.
Yeah,
Love me a good cup of tea. So that's gonna be sipping on that. It's probably 1,000 degrees still.
yeah, it looks like it's hot.
But anyways, so things going on, news, whatever.
It's cold.
It's cold, still cold. Well, this weekend is going to be really freaking cold again for us. So fingers crossed that everything goes okay with that. But we are looking like we have a little bit of warm weather, hopefully next week. That's what gets us. When you live in any of these climates, I'm sure it's the same for everybody. I look at the forecast a week out, and it helps you get through the crappy weather when you're like, all right, if I can make it to next Wednesday, it's going to be in the 40s. Next Thursday is going to be in the 40s. So it's like, it helps you get through the crappy days. So that's what we're excited about. We're going to try and work at the mill a little bit on those days if possible. So maybe the end of next week, if the weather cooperates, we'll get a little bit of done. You might see that in a week in the life of video that's going to be coming up. So as far as events go, we're just, I don't know what we have in the spring officially. The big one we want to definitely mention and start talking about is what used to be the Jalapy Showdown.
Yep.
That was last in York, but is at the EMMR, the Eastern Museum of Motorsports Racing, Lattimore.
Yes.
It was there for many years. That is one of the, before all of the, now I feel like I'm not saying it's a bad way. I feel like it's cool to have a show where there's dirt drags or drag racing or driving, which we talk about in the podcast. It's really cool. But the Jalapy Showdown, I feel like, is one of the first big events that started out grassroots and got kind of big, that was centered around traditional hot rods and racing, and they would run the cars on the dirt track and camping. There's other events out there. I'm sure somebody will say something, but that event was going on for quite a while. In our part of the country, it was a big thing, and has been continuously running for a number of years. Larry, that started the show, stepped down, and then the museum took it over and some local car clubs, and they moved it to
Lincoln, right?
Lincoln Speedway, which we went with the Stroll car right when I got it done, and it was good, but the track was so big and the grounds were so big, it didn't make it feel like that kind of fun picnic party kind of vibe like the Lattimore does. So this year, the show had been declining a little bit with the entries and different stuff like that. EJ Kowalski has taken over the event. So him and Liz are kind of heading up, reviving that show, which is we're really excited about that. If you guys aren't aware, we've talked about EJ before, but EJ's a, really well-known second generation, racer. Got his red hat at Bonneville this year. He's a hot rodder, but also a race car driver, engine builder, everything. So EJ kind of spearheaded. He also put on the dirt drags that we showed in Allentown. So if anybody followed our channel, that's where you might have been exposed to. EJ's great at putting on racing events.
Yeah, they have a whole event around some local 8th Mile asphalt tracks called Vintage Eliminator that they do. I think it's
Drag racing.
Drag
So-
racing once a month, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that. But they have a series that's really cool, and anybody can kind of come and race these. Very, very neat. So they decided to kind of take the event and spearhead kind of arranging it and try and bring back the fun of it. So if you've been on the ham for a long time, it was all over the ham. So if you never made it, they're trying to do a good job of bringing it back to what it was. So they're going to let people run on the circle track, roadsters and race cars and different stuff. It's a small circle track, pretty neat. And then they talked about they're hopefully going to flood the track again to do the mud kind of run in one of the corners like the old days. It would always rain, and there was old photos of people getting cars stuck in the track and things. So
Yeah.
they're going to try and do that. Camping, there's a campgrounds or camping area for the museum and the track right next to it. So this is one of those shows that when I started getting heavy into the traditional hot rod world and scene, I went to the show even before I had a car, a traditional car, and it was like, I was like, this is it. This is so cool. So back in the day on the ham and stuff like that, you saw it a lot on there that people were talking about it. And so they're hoping to bring that back. So if you never made it or you used to go and you haven't gone in years, definitely check it out. It's in May. We'll drop the dates down below. But they're going to be putting that on. And also, if you haven't been to the Eastern Motorsports Museum, it is an amazing museum of hot rodding and old racing history in our part of the world. And it's quite impressive.
Yeah.
Lynn Paxton, who passed away recently, kind of started the museum, and a lot of it from his collection evolving into that. So between his collection and what he did for the hobby, and then guys like EJ kind of joining on with the museum and being involved and now helping to put the show on, you're going to be guaranteed a good time. So we're going to be planning to go to that event in May, set up a swap meet space, bring a car to hang out for the weekend. I'm hoping to camp and chill there. So it should be a good time. And if you haven't put it on your calendar, you should put that on your calendar.
Yeah, I'll put the dates right down below.
So that's my pitch for it. Hashtag not a sponsored thing. It's just, you guys should know that we only really promote stuff that we like. We don't do any kind of paid promotions. Otherwise, Carlisle will be gearing up for that. We're probably going to be bringing a car to sell there if we have something available, and in our normal spread of parts. So start thinking about Spring Carlisle if you're
K1 to K3.
Yes. So that's what's going on for events initially off the top of my head. Model A Swap Meet is local to us. Model A Club puts that on Lehigh Valley. So that's a good one if you're in driving distance to make it.
And if you're in town for Carlisle, stay an extra day.
Yeah, it's the Sunday of Carlisle. So if you are around for Carlisle, that's a good point. You could come to that. Swap Meet's pretty darn good. A lot of Model A's, a lot of good fellowship of.
If you're into Model A's, there's probably one of every body style known to man will be there. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and everything from literally, a rough runaround driver Jalapy all the way up to like Grand National winners and stuff like that. And the crowd is really good, mixed crowd of actual normal car people. It's this is very much a driver work on your own car kind of event. So you're going to see at the swap meet a lot of the good stuff that you need to build a car. This isn't going to be cell phone cases and doodads. It's a real swap meet and old time car show. Which
if I drive my 34 there, do they make you park in the normal parking?
I think they started letting Ford hot rods park in the event now. They kind of opened it up a little bit. They eased the reins. And I know the one year they first allowed it, I drove the red 34 there.
Okay,
and I parked it over in the Spectator, and they were like, no, you need to park over here. And I'm like, it's all right. And then now they kind of let they don't have a big section.
Oh, they make you park against like the trees.
So it's pretty cool that they're letting guys do that. I usually drive, since they kind of started the event, anytime I set up in the swap meet, I bring an old car and vend out of it. So last year was the 38. My dad and I went, and I filled the back seat in the trunk with whatever I could throw in.
Didn't Evan come with too?
Well, he didn't fit in the car, so he didn't come. He didn't come this year. It was my dad and I, and it was cold as crap. 1 year, I think the year before, I brought the DeLorean Roadster and vended out of that. I used to bring the meat truck there for years. Now I got the delivery done, so that's That's easy. It'll be the easiest year because the delivery you can actually nicely put stuff in.
Yes.
The 38 was not very conducive to.
I remember there was like cow bands sticking out of the back and
Yeah.
grills everywhere.
Good fun. So that's a good one to hit. And we're looking forward to spring. So
Yeah,
that's
we're working on some estates, so we're do a lot of running around this spring, I think.
Yeah, we're hoping. I mean, we're probably going to start as soon as it starts getting remotely warm out. We have local stuff to look at, and then we also have some stuff driving distance, but not right at home. So March. I mean, usually for us it starts in March, and we start running around and picking up stuff. So keep an eye out. We'll have some more adventure videos coming up as soon as it is somewhat warm
enough. I did want to mention Tan Jeep has sold, and the 35 Roadster has sold. So we have no vehicles for sale at the moment, which is the first time in a while.
Very odd. It's been like a year since we've had. So it's great. We're emptying some of the buildings out, which is kind of exciting for us, especially because springtime we always have an influx of parts and cars and stuff. So this year is looking to be no different. So it'll be nice to have some space.
Luke and I have been working hard to make space in the railcar building, because if we're looking to buy estates, we need to be able to put all the new parts somewhere. So keep an eye on the website. Luke and I have been listing a ton. I've been listing a bunch every night. Luke takes a night or two a week and lists parts. So there's constant influx of new stuff coming up on the website.
So we're more than ever, if you check our website daily or weekly, you're going to see a ton of new items. When you go to the shop tab, it brings you to the parts page, and the newest items are actually listed. And there's a little banner thing on each item that says new item, so you know that you're looking at something that was just listed, and make an offer or buy it right off the site, and we will ship it. And
we're doing like 10 to 20 a day, so there's always something new coming up on the website.
Yeah, exciting stuff. So that's what's going on that end. Oh, and we gotta wish Steve is a newly for a second time grandfather.
Yes.
So Steve, his daughter had her second baby. He last week.
Yeah, we're in California.
Yeah, last week we were away, and he texted us that his daughter had her second child, and healthy baby girl.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes,
baby girl. So Steve's
Pop Up Steve.
Yeah, Pop Up Steve again. He's over the moon about it. It's really, really cool to see. Steve's been here long enough. We've watched all of this kind of evolve. That his daughter's buying a house and having her first baby, having a second baby, and it's pretty cool. So Steve doesn't. I don't even know if he watches these, but if he does, congratulations again.
Steve. Yeah.
So getting into the podcast, today's topic is relevant. We did it past couple years, I think.
2 years now. Yeah.
We did a Grand National recap. So we figured we'd do a recap while it's fresh in our brains and relevant topic. We used to do coverage of the show more in depth. We've talked about it in other podcasts and videos. We kind of stopped doing that because every YouTube channel on the planet and social media person
there's so much of it.
They're covering it very, very well. We're not saying a negative thing, but there's people that do a much better job than us. We're trying to hang out, talk business, do a little bit of everything. We probably don't do the best job at covering the show, and honestly, I don't give a shit. So
we had more fun just covering our fun, hanging out with everyone, and driving hot rods and eating donuts and Mexican.
We really don't care about show coverage that much. We're like half-hearted at it. We like kind of show it, but you're gonna end up seeing just the same cars that we like and everybody else shows. So we don't show. We showed in a week in the life of, but we do walk the show. We do take it all in, and we like to more talk about what we saw. I mean, everybody's probably seen the footage and the coverage on social media. So it's like, even if you didn't go, you're probably aware of who won Grand National, Most Beautiful, and, who was contending, and some of the cars that showed that were really cool. Yep. So we figured we'd.
And honestly, if you do go, if you're into the stuff that we're into, you basically walk the Suede Palace and the main building the most. Then all the other buildings you kind of just walk through real quick.
It depends on the year with what the feature car is. But yeah, a lot of the other booths, nothing wrong with it, but there's street rods, street machines, lowriders, air-cooled.
Stuff that interests us, but we spend a lot less time staring at them. You kind of just walk through and go, oh, that was kind of cool. But like Suede Palace, we're looking at how things are built and the look of the cars and the overall you're spending a lot more time staring at
Yeah,
them.
yeah, and there's a lot more home built cars, and then outside, like this year we went to the drive-in, which is on Saturday, which is basically where they just let all kinds of people just park outside, and honestly, those cars are just as interesting or good as the rest of the cars. What I found interesting this year is you're seeing cars that were pretty high-end cars that were parked in the drive-in. There was that Roadster pickup that competed, I think, for America's Most Beautiful that Dave Schutten. I always pronounce your name wrong. Schutten.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Apologize. Galpin.
Yeah.
But Dave built that car, I believe, and painted it, and they competed.
That Lincoln, that 46.8 Lincoln convertible, Continental.
Good. That was good.
Like some of the stuff in the drive-in is like as good or might even be a little bit better than some of the stuff inside the show. It's wild.
Yeah, just because you're parking inside the show doesn't always mean that it's the best. I mean, it's usually pretty nice to be inside the show, but inside a building. So, do you want to talk about the trip in general, or do you want to just talk about the show?
It's up to you. I mean, we can talk about the trip.
So, yeah, we'll run down the trip a little bit. So we got to visit.
Oh yeah, we can talk about.
Yeah, so some of the little bit. We'll touch a little bit on everything that we did. Maybe to give some context to the week in the life of video. So we flew in, and I mean, so flying in, we got our flight was all messed up. It's
been the year of messed up flights for us.
We had everything set up. We like to fly out of a local airport that is a small airport. The security line's very short, and you can go through much easier. Parking, it's easier to get somebody to drop us off. And we were actually this year going to fly into Ontario Airport, which is a similar airport, actually closer to Pomona.
Yes.
So it's a much better travel experience. Well, we had it all planned out. Everything was booked. We were supposed to fly out at like 6:30 a.m. I woke up at like 4 a.m. to get ready to leave. Kate was giving us a ride at the airport. And I look at my phone as I'm going to sitting down to go to the bathroom. And it says, your flight has been delayed. Your flight has been delayed like 2 times. And it's like, now your flight now takes off at 10 a.m. and you now get to LA at 9 p.m. I'm like, oh no. So freaking out at 4 a.m., half awake. Luckily for us, it may maybe make me want to book with them more often. Delta is who we were flying with. Their online app is phenomenal. It let me literally search flights like it's kayak.com or any of those and play with wherever I wanted to fly in and out of and change my flight and book it myself. So I played with times, and I was able to find a flight flying out of Philly. Actually, if we would have got the notification a little earlier, we could have flown out of Philly at like 6:50 and wouldn't have missed a beat. But because Philly is a little further away, you have to get there 2+ hours for security.
Security at Philly can be hit or miss.
Yeah, so we couldn't make it. By the time I figured it all out, Mike would have had to come to me instead of us going to him. So what I ended up finding was a flight out of Philly that was slightly later, but only got us. I think we only ended up getting in like an hour
later, and we had to go to LAX instead of Ontario.
Yeah, so that's right. So I switched it to the 2 major airports, no extra charge. Booked it online. We showed up, gave me everything was so seamless.
I also will give a shout out. Delta has free Wi-Fi on their flights.
On their bigger planes.
On the bigger planes. So both planes we flew on the way there, I was listing stuff on eBay in the air as we were flying. I was answering emails.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. It's nice to actually get work done when you're on a plane for
Delta gets it.
5 hours.
I mean, they did a good job. So we've had other flights where the stuff was canceled or changed or whatever. And it was a nightmare.
Minnesota.
Yes.
We had to go to the counter, and the guy had to do it by himself to find a flight for us.
So this worked out way better. So I probably will be looking at Delta for future flights because of that.
Join their rewards program.
Yes, we do fly a lot. So anyways, we got into LAX. Luckily, Piero had offered to pick us up. He's much closer to Ontario Airport, but he was a good sport and picked us up at LAX. And luckily for us, Lucky's shop and Galpin is closer to LA. Actually, LAX.
It's like Burbank area.
Yeah, so he picked us up. We went to Lucky's and straight away went into. It was just like it was so weird in the same day to go from like 10 degrees in the morning when I woke up to flying in, and I was hopping in Lucky's Roadster, and it's like
80,
70 degrees,
it was pretty
maybe
warm.
in the 70s, and we're riding around in a Roadster like straight away. That was like so cool. So we went to Galpin and got to visit the collection. They are kind of we had somebody actually message us about that. I don't know where I saw it.
It's not a museum. It's a private collection.
Yeah. So somebody was kind of like, we tried to get in there and we couldn't. So luckily for us, Lucky and Piero and, different guys know Dave that kind of, works there, runs the collection, oversees everything. They know him well enough that he had some free time that he let us quickly buzz through there.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So we went there, got to walk around. That collection is crazy.
It's very crazy.
I think it's kind of like we talked about at Grand National. They have a bunch of like Barris kind of crazy like movie show cars.
Ed Roth, Barris, crazy, wacky stuff.
So that stuff is really cool and very important in hot rodding history, but is not as interesting to me personally. I like looking at them, but it's one of those things where you look at it, you go, wow, that's the, whatever, insert crazy car here, and I was more excited to see Blackie's car really up close. I've seen it at Pomona before, different events when Blackie was alive. Actually, I saw it years ago. So actually see it where we could like get right up on it and actually, ooze over the details. Yeah. Super cool for me because that was one of the big influences for the Free T. And Hirohata Merc was really cool to see up close in person. That was just kind of crazy.
Yes.
We didn't get to see that because I think that was last year when we missed.
Yeah, it was.
We missed it. It was there. So that was really cool to see. To get I'm not into the car per se, but the uncertainty.
Yeah, that was cool
to see it really close. We saw it with a rope around it, but to see it right up close and actually look at like how the different layers of paint on it, and kind of look at those details was neat.
It's cool to see Tweety Pie too.
The real Tweety. Sorry, Pierre.
Sorry,
the real Tweety Pie.
Yeah, it was just cool because we're looking at Piero's literally the next day, so it was cool just to like. He did such a good job recreating it, like to the T.
And he went to the T. Get it? Ha ha ha.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah, because he went there quite often to take photos, measurements, details, and was able to.
I think Dave even did the pinstriping for him and recreated like the Roth pinstriping.
Oh yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Their
Winfield's.
Yeah, Winfield's pickup was cool to see. His Pacifica, his Econoline pickup, was really cool to see again. We're going to do actually one of our very soon upcoming podcasts. We're finally going to do a Winfield one. I actually had a handful of people at Grand National, viewers that came up to speak with me that were like, I'd really like to see you do a Winfield podcast. So I think I'm cool with doing one.
Matt spent an entire plane ride writing out like different things he did with Geno's. Every time I look over, he's just typing on his phone. I'm like, what is he doing?
So I had to gather my thoughts just because I feel like that's one that I want to actually put a timeline together of me getting to know Gene and how everything in my my life kind of changed. But anyways, we saw the C Pacifica was cool because that was the first time I actually introduced myself to Gene, not like saw him from afar at an event, was when he debuted that at SEMA. So that was pretty cool to see that again. So there was a bunch of stuff. They had some stuff kind of hidden away that we couldn't video. That we got to see. That was really neat.
I got to see. Did you ever see Dave's 34 in person?
I don't know if it's Dave's or Galpin's or what the whole deal is with it, but the crazy 34 that was debuted at Autorama years ago. I think it competed for the Riddler. But it's got, it's a 34 with the wild paint, with the windowed hood sides, with the blue Lexan and
I think it was so
Plexi
cool
or whatever. Super cool, like crazy 60s show car kind of vibe. That was neat to see, like really up close. So a ton of cool stuff there. The memorabilia. Actually, my favorite thing wasn't even a shiny car, was they got, I don't know how recently they got it. I think fairly recently. They had a 32 pickup old Survivor hot rod.
That thing was killer.
I think they're tracking the history on, but they said that they think it is the only surviving original Dean Jeffries pinstriping from back in the day on this truck. And you can see on the hood, there's a little tiny Dean Jeffries.
Touch his signature that's still on the grill.
Probably shouldn't. They might get mad. Yeah. But it's Olds powered.
Yeah, Olds powered. Had a really killer moon timing cover that had like a breather out the top.
Yeah, fin.
It was channeled
and chopped.
And the fenders. It was kind of weird kind of neat how they like channeled but kept the original fenders. It was neat to look at all the crude old hot rod.
Yeah, that's we talk about it a lot. Those are my favorite cars to stare at because those are, you see all those little details that if you're trying to build a nostalgic or traditional car, those are the cars you want to look at, because how did they make the shock brackets? How did they do this? What is the seat in it? And you see all this stuff, and that helps you in your head when you're putting a car together. So I probably spent the most time looking at that car.
Yeah.
I think it's Dave's 32 two-door sedan Survivor there with the fog paint.
That thing's killer too.
Paneled paint or fog paint, I forget now. But that's really cool. So anyways, that collection. Also, they have a ton of original Von Dutch memorabilia. Dutch's Louvre machine was probably my favorite thing out of all the Dutch stuff. It was really, really cool to be able to like look at that and be like, whoa, that's it.
They had the original mold from the Ed Roth. Is it the Avenger body?
Mysterian.
I forget which one.
I mix up all the names.
They have the original mold, or original buck for making the bodies, and they have it stacked above one that was cast off of it. What I like about the Galpin collection is they display things really well.
Yeah, I think
like they make like these cool displays for everything. Like when they did Uncertainty at Grand National 2 years ago, they made a giant model box like you would have got for the Uncertainty back in the 70s from Revell. They made a giant version of it. So it's just like the thought behind those displays is kind of cool to see.
Yeah. And then there's a Robert Williams display, which is really cool. Some of the stuff I think was missing because he's having an art show right now.
Yeah, that's right.
But his two cars were there, which was neat to see. So it's just cool. There's like a Barris area, Von Dutch, Robert Williams,
Ed Roth.
There's all these little areas in the collection that are dedicated to memorabilia and cars of famous.
There's some original Barris drawings that are behind the Hirahata. So it's just like to really look at that collection, you got to be there for like 6 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So we got to do that, which was really cool. I have never been there, so thank you, Dave, for giving a few hours of your time to let us wander through there and hang out. And thank you to Pierre for arranging it all.
Yes. Next time we're in California, we're gonna try to possibly sit down with Dave to do a podcast with him.
I don't know if we asked him, but
I did not ask him, but
we're gonna try and pull strings. See if we can get.
I'll have Piero ask him.
Yeah, we're really bad at that. We ought to ask him, and then we hang out, look at the cars, and then we leave. We're like, shit, we never asked him.
Yeah. So it tries to be organic. It's awkward just to walk up to someone and be like, hey, you want to do our podcast?
You don't know who we are. We're nerds. So.
Then we shot a podcast with Lucky. Went back to his shop.
We already... We talked about before we went to Grand National and hung out with those guys. It just feels like old friends. So when we sat down to do our podcast with Lucky, it's going to be hilarious. The first 5 minutes of us
he almost died and choked on his spit.
I know. I was trying to drink water and talk, and we were just laughing.
The problem is it was Matt and Lucky, and then Piero and Harrison were also sitting there off camera cracking jokes, and we're all trying to be...
The first 5 minutes is just like crying and laughing over. I don't even know what I was. Those guys were probably stoned. I wasn't stoned, but they were. I was laughing like I was a stoned kid. I'm like, I don't know what I'm laughing at.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But it was cool. We sat down with Lucky, did a podcast. Interesting to talk with him. So we kind of covered some of his background, which was really
that'll come out next week probably.
Yeah, so that one's really neat to do. Lucky's always had like a really cool hot rod shop, for as long as I can remember. Since I've been going to California, he had a lot of always was involved and around. So it was cool to ask him about some of the earlier days, which was fun.
We went and had Mexican food. Of
Yeah,
course.
the theme of this year, like always, is Mexican food every night.
And we had donuts every morning.
Almost every morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then we helped Piero. Well, we rode in with him. I rode in with him in Tweety Pie.
Yeah. We shot a podcast with Piero first.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then from there, we rode into Grand National with him. I was the support vehicle and carried his show signs.
I got the ride in, which was pretty cool. So that was neat. And a big moment for Piero, which was cool, is he had done a shoot with Rodder's Journal, and they told him it was going to be in the Rodder's Journal booth, but he didn't know, like, when you get shot, you don't know where your car is going to be in the magazine. So we rolled in, they had him park and blah, 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 and then before he could turn around and look behind where the car was parked, I'm
just like, when's that issue coming out? I didn't realize he didn't know it was on the cover. So he parked the car, and the new cover for the latest Rodder's Journal is right behind his car. And he just turned around and he goes, I didn't know it was going to be on the cover. And he just like was like, like he didn't know what to do. He was like starstruck almost. I wish I was filming. It was kind of a cool reaction to be a part of.
It's really neat that that was the first time he realized that. So I'm sure, I mean, for anyone in the hobby to have a car in the Rodder's Journal booth at Grand National was like crazy. And then to find out that your car's on the cover is even crazier. So I love it because we saw how that car and Piero and all the guys documented the process of a bunch of friends building it in a garage. They're not some super Rodder's Journal sometimes is featuring some really high end type of builds. Bunch of guys putting a car together themselves in a garage. Just a group of friends that went from, like an idea. So like for that to happen and then it's on the cover of Rodder's Journal, like that's so cool. That has to be, it was neat to watch it from afar.
Yes.
So to see that's really cool. And so that it was,
And since we got in with Piero, we spent the rest of the afternoon just wandering around Building 4, which is where all the AMBR cars are competing. So we were able to look at everything without like 10,000 people trying to do the same thing. So it was nice to get an early look. And I will say, if you judge the AMBR cars based off the photos that Grand National puts on their social media pages, go in person. Some of those cars photograph very differently than how they look in person.
Yeah.
The colors are different. There was 2 black 32 Roadsters. One was brown, one was black. So like the photos aren't like professional staged photos. They're just snapping them as they put the cars in front, and they're doing a checklist to make sure they can contend. So they're not like professional, well lit. They're kind of, I think someone just snaps them with a cell phone.
Yeah, they're not very good. So when we were on our way there,
on Thursday morning.
Yeah, Thursday morning, we were looking at the photos on our phone, and I was like, yeah, that thing's in. And you're like, kind of like, I don't know. And then we got there, and
they look way different.
Yeah, the cars look way different. Sometimes, that side angle isn't always the best angle for a car. So you see it at a 3/4 or view, and you're like, whoa.
It's the right angle, but the phone's up too high or down low, and you're getting like this weird angle, and the lighting's not great. So
I don't remember which one specifically, but there was one or two that were like, man, that thing, I don't know.
The 3 Dog had another car in again this year. It was his wife's car. The way that it was photographed, it didn't look as good. And once we saw it in person and saw what they actually recreated a cover car from Hot Rod from 54, I think it is.
It's like a
yellow 34 Roadster.
Yeah, it's sitting at a drag strip
or like an airfield or something.
Yeah, an airfield. Yeah, and it's got like a
grill,
like a 38 or 37
truck grill,
which is pretty neat. And when you saw the photo from the side, the wheels are different than the original car, so they used it as inspiration. We're nobody to be judging cars. Yeah. The wheels on it aren't necessarily my taste. That's where it's separated for me. Being like, I don't know, it's yellow. Those wheels are more modern street rod kind of retro, whatever. They're not bad wheels. They're just, and then you see the photo of the magazine sitting next to it in their display, and you're like, oh, now
like
I see where
you get the full story of everything.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I see it now. Okay, it is pretty cool. And then you see all the details up close. You're like, wow, this thing's crazy. So as with any of the contenders, the details are what makes a car. So in person, you really get to see all that.
Do you want to talk about all of them now?
Sure. I have my thing here.
We both have photos to reference.
Because I don't remember.
So we talked about the yellow one.
So it's a 33 Roadster or 34 Roadster. How do I turn this thing on?
I think it has a big block Ford. It's kind of cool. It has a Crestliner wheel. Has an Auburn style gauge panel, which a lot of old man's trying to figure out his tablet over here.
I don't know. I don't.
There was a lot of cars this year with Auburn style gauge panels, like a lot.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
in the not necessarily contending for AMBR, but in the show there was a lot of like Auburn style.
I'm gonna start at the bottom of this. So there was the brown, Arden powered brownish, 32 Roadster.
That's one of the photos. It looks I'm looking at the actual Grand National photos that they put on their website. It looks black. It doesn't look brown at all.
Yeah, that car is pretty killer.
Yes.
I would say that selfishly, that's probably out of all the cars is the one I'd like to own.
Yeah.
So like the car I picked for winning isn't a car I'd probably want to own. I mean, it's just something that it's really beautiful, over the top, well done. This is a car that there's not much that I would change on this car. And that's the one thing that's interesting about Riddler cars and Grand National cars. If you don't win Riddler or Grand National, the car just kind of disappears into the nothingness of the world and is not really any more valuable. So like these people spend millions or $1 million on a car nowadays to compete at this level. And if that car doesn't win, it's just another really well done hot rod, or street rod, whatever. So some of these people build cars that are like so crazy that they're almost not drivable or they're not easily drivable. I think for AMBR, you have to be drivable, but that doesn't mean that the car is usable on a regular basis.
It just needs to drive into the show.
Right. And this is a car that I think would be one that I would want to own for a long period of time and use.
Yes.
So that's really something to be said about building a car that is timeless and compete with the highest of high cars. And then this person can own this car and use it, and it's going to be a kick-ass hot rod for the rest of time.
Yeah, Arden powered, Scott blown. Wheels are kind of cool on it. It's got like Divco
style. I think maybe the rears were real Divcos.
Yeah,
and
the rears are 18-inch real Divco high clearance, and then the fronts are 16-inch high clearance style wheels that someone made.
I think they're not. People call them Divco wheels. I don't think they're technically Divcos. They're just Ford high clearance wheels.
Oh, they're Ford. Okay,
I think is what they are, but. I think everybody calls them Divcos, but I don't know if I've ever seen them on a Divco, which is side tangent. Sorry.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. But that car's awesome. The black, no, I should say this. There's two cars. Then the black 32 Roadster with flathead powered with Eddie Myers, Edelbrock Slingshot high rise. Again, timeless car. I mean, you can't really... These are two cars that, they will be cool forever and ever and ever. These two cars also could have been a competing car back in the day with how timeless looking they are. So either one of those cars, I misspoke, I would be happy to own out of all
and you could easily drive these, just the way they are. I believe this one was marked. It's an original 32 Roadster body.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times the contenders are using Brookville bodies, which is no problem, just because it's it's easier to start fresh with clean metal than fixing an old shitty body.
I think that is a little feather in your cap. If you have a car that's competing with an original body, I mean, to get that body straight and fixed, now they're probably buying like the best of the best, but still.
Now, some of the other cars may have been original bodies. I just know this one had it on the board, original 32 Roadster body.
So that thing was awesome. Then the Myers collection, the 33 Roadster, again, super cool car. I mean, anything they own or have built is going to be the top of the top.
Built by Brizio.
Is it a Brizio built? So it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I can't get over the wheels. The wheels are cool. They're like Halibrands. They might be real Halibrands, or Halibrand style wheels. I just think if they would have, I almost wish they would have recreated the car. But again, that wouldn't have been a competing car.
Yeah.
So I get what they were doing.
I like the interior on that a lot, though.
It's cool. Yeah, the color is good.
It's actually a very subtle, just red interior, which kind of matches well with the yellow.
I dislike yellow.
Yes.
So I have a hard time. It's a beautiful car. Again, we're nobody, so us sitting here and
we're just two
talking
shitheads.
shit. Two poor kids starting out talking about multi-million-dollar high-end show cars. But hey, the internet gives us a platform to not know anything or have any relevance, but we can talk about it.
Yes.
And you're listening. So who's the worst one out of this group? Listen to us shitheads. But yeah, that car was great. It has all the right parts on it. I mean, Brizio built it. It's gonna, It
was very interesting to see if they were gonna win because they won the last 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that was like.
It's also funny how Ross puts his wife's name on it every other year. So she won with the Phaeton. That
I guess
Brizio
she's probably overseeing. I mean, I don't know the inner workings, but I imagine she probably has some sort of say into the styling of it.
And then he won last year with his 36 that Troy
Trepanier, Rad Rods by
Troy built. And then this is another Brizio car that was under her name. So I'm interested to see what he brings next year to compete with under his name.
It's insane. It's just crazy. 32 Phaeton, two-door Phaeton.
Yeah, so that's a Brookville tub that was designed by Boyd or by Foose.
And that's what the car that won 2 years ago started out as. Now it was highly modified. This one looks a little less modified. I don't know. But it's great. I mean, it's a beautiful car.
Surprisingly, very similar color to the car that won. Blue, white interior.
Yeah, it's a cool car. It's well done. I don't know.
I have nothing bad to say about it.
I have nothing bad. It just doesn't do anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm like sort of weird. I'm being too picky, but a Phaeton with Halibrand style wheels, but with the big bug eye headlights, like it's just, and the cowl steering, it's like such a mixed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but again, it's a beautiful car. I don't have anything nice, so don't listen. The person that owns this car might be like very angry with us, but it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I just,
I will say there was a lot of Ardent powered vehicles this year. I think
does that have a small block in it?
That one does, yeah. But there, I swiped to the other 32 Roadster. I think there was 2 or 3 cars contending this year with Ardens. Yeah. So it's neat to see that.
Yeah, all this stuff is like highly detailed. So to get to this level is insane. Yeah. I'm not shitting on it. We already just said that we go to a collection and I look at the car that's a survivor before the nicest car. So
yes,
my opinions do not reflect the rest of the
Take
staff.
all of this with a grain of salt.
Sorry. Next one is this 37 convertible or Roadster. This car very much reminds me, Grand National and the Riddler. You'll see that a lot where there's cars that.
How can that compete? Because is that technically a convertible? 37, they didn't make a Roadster.
I think it might have been the last year of a Roadster, technically.
The windshield's not removable, though. 37, they had fixed windshields.
I don't know. You talk to the judges about that.
I'm just asking how that works.
Like I fucking know. I have no idea. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
We're nobody.
Explain to me how this works, Matt.
Okay, so Section 8,
In the bylaws.
subsection 32 says that a 37, because in the rule book they made a prototype, so it can now compete. So this is like a convertible roadster, whatever you want to call it. 37. What I was saying is there's a lot of cars that are like still like in that Boyd street rod era. Yeah. I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's just the way this car's done.
That's how they're styled.
Yeah, it could be a early 2000s competing car also.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. I guess it's got injection or throttle bodies rather, not real injection, but still. Nice car overall. I mean, I think the theme is fitting on this one.
Yeah, just not our cup of tea.
But yeah, I think the color of the interior and the color of the car are complementing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a wild street machine, street rod, whatever you want to call it. It's great. It's got a TV in it or navigation. So looks like dolphin gauges, maybe. So crazy car. And yeah. Then the next one is a 35, I think is what the grill is resembling.
Again, yeah, it's another Boyd era style street rod.
Yeah, street machine with the big mags it almost reminds me of a Plymouth Prowler.
That's what it reminded me of, especially from the back. Has that look to it.
It's just not my cup of tea, but it is crazy.
Over-engineered, highly detailed.
Yes. Yeah, I do like how the 35 grill is angled and then cuts into that like belly pan thing. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool on it.
Hood sides are kind of neat on it too.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah.
That's all we have to say about that.
I think it's an LS. Am I seeing that photo right? That it's an LS with the rocker covers that look like they're...
Yes, I think that is an LS.
Sorry. Mike's going to have to edit all the sniffling and whatever out of this. I'm trying to nurse my tea because it's helping, but...
It's hot as shit.
No, I'm drinking it too fast, and then I'm going to... Second half of the podcast be screwed.
All dry throat.
All right, next one was my winner.
Which I'm sure some people would be very surprised
about. Very surprised. So
I was also very surprised when he said it in the show. I was like, you feeling all right?
Yeah. 33 3-window. I apologize we don't remember.
33 Roadster.
Roadster, Jesus. I was just pushing my 33 3-window around, so that's in my head. I apologize in advance. We're not prepared enough to have the shop name and the owner's name.
I know they were in Kansas. I know that.
Yeah. Hillside or something?
I don't
maybe?
remember.
I don't know. That's why we don't say names, because then we butcher it and then people are more pissed.
Yeah.
33 Roadster. This car was fucking awesome.
Very, very detailed.
I would probably own this one, but I think it has I don't know if it had a
yeah, it's got like
420.
A Boss.
Yeah, it had like a Boss, or maybe it was one of those new. Or was it one of those new, I don't know.
Coyote engines, maybe?
No, not the Coyote. What's the crazy Ford engine they have now? The Godzilla or whatever.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. But this car, damn it, going the wrong way. I think Eric Black designed it.
Oh, okay.
I think I saw him post about it. So Eric Black does renderings or drawings of some of the most high-end shops in the country. Use him to do, if you want a nostalgic spot on, he does other stuff, but what I know him for is a lot of the like really Hollywood Hot Rods uses him a lot. He does renderings he's just like so good at getting the proportions right and the styling of a car. I think they did that on this one. Mm-hmm. The car is freaking, the color's right, the stance is right.
I really like their display too.
Yeah.
Most cars, they take up a giant square and they put the car right in the middle of it. This one, they didn't have any area roped off. So during the show, the door was propped open and you could literally get
pretty close
and look in it to see like the dash and all the little details of the interior, which is I kind of like, because it kind of sucks to stand way back and you're kind of trying to look at it.
And that's why sometimes when we talk about these cars, it's like if you owned the car, or you saw it and judged it, you'd be like, no, that car didn't suck. It had all these crazy details. When everything's smooth and it's a mile away, and yeah, it's up on mirrors, but we can't see all that. So we're going off of what the average person sees. But this car overall, it had the look. My personal only fault is if it had a different engine choice, I would have been like, I would love to own this car. You know, the engine choice was phenomenal, but for us being into the nostalgia stuff, that's probably the only thing. The interior was kick-ass. It had all these little round chrome or stainless bars or rods that they did like around the seats, around like a grab rail on the dash, and like all that kind of stuff. All that followed through the car and was really, really cool. Even from 10 feet away, you saw these details and noticed it.
Had a hideaway top, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, there was a... That's the cars I like the most, is when you're standing there looking at it and you start noticing these little things that you didn't take in at first. So they had a nicely gapped removable panel in the back that the top went down in. But when it was all shut up, it just looked like a stock kind of bodied 33 Roadster.
And it was kind of cool when we were there on Thursday, because they put the car in the display. They take photos with the tops up. A lot of times the tops are down or, you know, stowed away. On Friday at the show, this one had the top in the actual, hidden away in the body. So it was kind of cool to see it both ways.
Yep. Yeah, that was really cool. The inverted louvers.
Yeah, that's neat.
On the hood was really cool.
There was a bunch of neat details on the frame horn at the very front. It was filled. They had like boxing plates in, but on the tip they had like this little scallop or body line detail in the tip.
Yep.
Just, it's so nice to look at these cars a little closer.
And it had like those, I think they were like handmade blisters.
Yeah.
For the inner fenders or blisters. I mean, the only thing that I
like the color.
The color is phenomenal. The only couple things I would change if I was to own this car is make a more nostalgic interior. The steering wheel looks like it's off of a 70s Econobox kind of car. Not my thing. Maybe there's some tie-in where that's... you know what? That might be like a 60s Ford wheel that's the same as the engine came out of or something. Maybe. There's probably some thoughtful tie-in that I'm missing. The interior is beautiful, but it's a little like modern sports car-y. But again, I want something that's super nostalgic. So those little things... It would be really bad if I was like had fuck you Jay Leno money. I would buy like this car, then I'd fuck it all up and put like a flathead back in it. I'd put like a blown flathead or an Ardent in it, and I'd put some nostalgic like tuck and roll interior, and keep like everything else. And they'd be like, "You ruined the
beautiful car."
Yeah, beautiful car. So, don't give me real money. You guys are in trouble.
I'll have to keep them in check.
But yeah, that car's awesome. That was my pick. It was phenomenal. Next one is the 32 Roadster. That's kind of like an Indy car themed.
We saw this actually 2 years ago in bare metal.
Yes. Yeah. No. This is one that also did not photograph very well. I was kind of like, I don't know. And then we saw it in person, and there's a lot of crazy details. The metal fab on this and metal shaping and detailing is really cool. Ardent powered. The indie theme thing is super cool. It's not my cup of tea, so to speak. But the car is very well done.
Yes.
I will say this is a good example. The theme and look of the car matches throughout. So this car is like race inspired. It has Halabrand or Halabrand style wheels. You know, all the pieces on it kind of match.
Has half treads, right? Is this,
it has a
half tread Firestones on it.
So like all of that stuff all
flows
together. Where again, when we were talking about some of these high-end cars, they try and just throw all the like best stuff at it, and it's like a Phaeton with race car wheels and some other stuff that's just like confused. Yes, it's beautiful, it's crazy, but like this car, everything flows. It's got cowl steering. Well, it's a race-inspired car. It should have...
The cowl steering on that's interesting. It's actually not direct cowl steering. It also then goes to a bell crank.
Yes.
It's kind of a wild
really
engineering. Cool. I don't personally like the look of it because there's a lot going on, but that's a lot of
the engineering on this
Yes.
car is really good.
That's
It's
a lot of
really-
math to figure out how to make all that work correctly.
Yeah, correctly. So, car is phenomenal. I like the airplane and race car themed throughout on the whole car. Even the interior has that kind of styling.
And the gauges are that way too, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's got like it's kind of like an old.
Reminds me of an aristocrat panel for a Model A almost.
Yeah, but it's like an Indy kind of style with vintage gauges. This car has a lot of vintage theme to it, which is good. Blown Arden, which is,
I like the hood louvers too. It's kind of neat how they taper in size to match the blister for the Arden head.
Yeah. This car was very well thought out. The guy that built that did a phenomenal job. I love that car overall. Again, anytime I'm saying something, it's me talking in La La Land like I would possibly own this car someday. I have no fucking.
Welcome to IronTrap La La Land.
It's every day with me. So the next one is the winner,
which is very. We were all very surprised.
I was surprised.
We were on the flight home, on our layover in Atlanta, and I checked who won, and it was. I picked this car to win because I liked it, but I didn't think it was actually. There's always those cars where you're like, I think this one's gonna win, but I love this car better.
I think for a number of years now, probably 10 years, there's been cars that like the nostalgic traditional hot rod and custom world, everyone collectively picks as what they think should win, and then it loses.
Yep.
And everybody's like pissed and bummed and whatever. So I kind of like now I'm like, there's no way that's going to win. They never pick a car that's that nostalgic.
This is probably the most traditional style car that competed this year.
I don't know. Those 32 Roadsters are pretty good. This is a 60s themed.
Yeah.
I guess 50s or 60s themed car. So I mean, what'd you like about it? I'll let you.
It's nail head powered, which is kind of cool because traditionally they're either flathead powered or modern engine powered.
Or small block.
Block. Yeah, there's very rarely do you see Olds, Caddy, and Nailhead. And you do occasionally, but the last couple of years, we haven't really seen much.
Especially Nailhead. That's
Nailhead's
really cool.
a very odd engine choice for, or I should say Hemi. There's usually a lot of Hemi.
Yeah,
power.
true.
There was none this year, which is interesting.
Oh, wow.
There's no Hemi entrance. So, interesting engine choice. And the 60s show rod style, paint, interior, everything flowed and was very... There was no like weird stuff that felt out of place.
Yeah, the car, everything kind of vibes with what the car is and what they're trying to do. And
the shop that built this does like the craziest paint.
Yeah.
Squeegs, I think is how you pronounce it. They had a van and a 34 two-door sedan drag car in their booth, which was like wild paint. So to see what they normally do, and this paint's very nice, beautiful, very high end. It's actually very subdued from the stuff that they're putting out. Like they're doing like this crazy lace work and like heavy metal flake. This just has a very subtle, like this is a car I would drive.
Yeah, I think for you, this would be the car that out of all of them that like you would own and drive and keep forever. And I could see this is much like the other ones we're talking about. Like this car's pretty timeless.
Yeah. So
I think you could own this car and 50 years from now, this is still going to be a very relevant car.
Yeah.
That 33 I was talking about, I think it could be the same way because that car, nothing's too weird that you couldn't change a few things and it would follow suit with whatever, trends. So, I love, my favorite part of this car is the engine color.
Yeah, it's great.
I really liked it. It's like such a neat color. I was like, man, I'd love to paint a car that color.
The interior is the same kind of color too. The interior is actually darker blue than the body color.
Yeah.
Which matches the engine, which is cool to see because usually everyone goes like so insane on body color that like everything is the exact same blue and it all kind of blends together.
This was like the photos, it doesn't photograph quite like it looks in person. It's like a ocean kind of blue, like a deep, but it has a little bit of turquoise almost in it in person. So like some of these photos I'm looking at, the flash. Oh, this one, this far away one, I think is the best version of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To see the engine color. Yeah. The photo that I'm looking at is from the Grand National from their social media, so it's probably a lot less flat.
Yeah, some of the photos close up with the flash, it's like a really deep blue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like that car, I was surprised. Yeah, I don't have anything on this car that I don't know if I can even see the
Had
interior.
a telescoping T-bird column
That was cool.
with like
I
a
love seeing-
50s style Ford wheel.
Do you have an interior photo? I don't think I have one. Maybe I do, but I didn't go. Oh yeah, that is cool.
T-bird column, which you don't really see a whole lot anymore because guys just put in like a I did it.
Yeah, I would love to. I've always wanted to do a T-bird column on a car, so like I saw that and I was like, oh yeah.
And it had a 50 style, 50s or 60s, probably 60s Ford steering wheel, which normally a lot of these cars they have some extravagant, wild
CNC'd, whatever. Or, you know,
I was very, very surprised.
or you see it go the other way, where it's like over the years you see contenders, and it's like they went on Speedway and just got like a Chinese like fake 39 banjo that's like the size of a chain steering wheel, like a lowrider.
I don't know if it was when we were there 2 years ago or when we were there in 2020. There was a car that had like this wild blown Hemi. It's like over the top, and then you stand behind and look, and it has like odometer speedway gauges,
Dolphin gauges.
Yeah, it's like all this crazy shit, and it's like got these plastic looking odometer. It's such a
And I think
bummer.
that's what probably a lot of these cars. That's one of the things when a car wins. You know, America's Most Beautiful. Like that's part of it. I don't know what the gauges were like an Auburn style panel. In
Yeah, I
that
think
car.
they're Stuart Warner, like their newer Crescent. The photo's terrible, but they look like Stuart Warner.
They look like
Crescent Eagle,
wings. That's a
or the newer wing style.
yeah, and that seems to be a common thing when people try and go like retro with the build. They just go right to the wings, which is probably about the only thing. One of the only sets of gauge that Stuart Warner makes that from afar looks like the old thing. If you're nerds or snobs like myself, I don't particularly like those. If again, this is me, like the Stanley Shavix. I'm looking at Haggerty's site. They actually have the names here.
Yeah.
His 32 Roadster with the, I think he actually built it. His Roadster with the Indy theme, like those are old. Like you could see they're old
Style
Stuart
gauge.
Warner gauges. So
Yeah.
like to me that to find those gauges, make them work, do all the stuff, like that's what I feel like if you're competing at the highest level and you're trying to do a nostalgic car, or your theme of your car is traditional or nostalgic, to just throw some off the shelf gauges in, even if they're Stuart Warner wings gauges. I'm like, I feel like that's one of those things where you went that close.
Mm-hmm.
You put everything else. You got the Halbrand wheels. You got all the stuff, and then you went and ordered off Speedway, like the modern. Like, you could still get wings gauges. Like,
Well, it's wild to say. Speaking of Halbrand wheels, the car that won had reverse chrome Ford style wheels. Nothing crazy CNC built.
hell yeah,
So it's a breath of nothing wrong with the previous winners, because like Ross's 36 had like the craziest metal work done on it. This is more of a breath of nostalgic style winner versus like some over engineered, completely hand built body. It's a 32, very simple.
it makes you
Roadster
sometimes
body.
wonder if the judges are like they have that in the back of their head, like what won the last handful of years.
Or
and they're
did
like,
some judges change this year compared to the last previous years?
I don't know how it works. They don't
Yeah.
want me as a judge because I'm like
Too
this.
nitpicky.
Yeah, it'd be easy to like get my pick.
Matt just walks a trophy out to a car that's outside. It's not pathetic. This is America's Most Beautiful Roadster. Fuck all of you guys.
It's some car with like patina.
Yeah.
Like this thing's way better. But yeah, that for me the I should look at the name of it now that it was John Fairley's 33 Roadster. That one was my pick. I think that thing was awesome. I actually thought that car had a decent chance at winning.
Yeah.
So
I wish they ranked them, like did like a 1 through 10, so you know,
that
like,
would be neat to see, like
or
how
top
close
5
it was.
at least.
Yeah.
Just to see where they were at. Maybe someone that was.
Maybe they don't like to do that because it hurts people's feelings. Like you either
fuck
win
it.
or you don't win.
You put your car in, you should be able to get your
Yeah.
feelings hurt.
I guess. Yeah. But so
We need to talk about the rest of our trip.
well, yeah, talk about the show. Is there anything I'm gonna try and pull up some photos so I can
The trip was just I will say the feature building this year was the fat fendered cars. It was 36 to 48 or 35 to 48 cars. Not necessarily what we're super interested in. The 4 cars that we looked at the most are from our hometown. Three Dog brought out the Pearson Coupe, the Clory Coupe, the Ed Pink car, and there's a white one that I always forget the name of. Or no, it's red with white running boards.
Yeah,
white running boards. I forget
the name
of
just
it.
escaped me of the car.
But he had all 4 of them in a row on the one side of the building. That's probably what we looked at the most. But Suede Palace was pretty good. There was a bunch of neat stuff. There's it was a 39 or 40 Merc, that one that I believe the Menge twins chopped. That blue one.
The Mercury?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know who chopped it, but yeah, that car
that was pretty neat.
Really nice.
We were looking at there's a 32 Survivor hot rod that was in there that was a section or a channeled 32 Roadster, and it had like a stretched frame. That red one had a really cool like.
Oh, and Sweet Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that car was awesome. That car probably out of the whole show was one of the ones I studied the most.
Mm-hmm. Olds powered.
Yeah, it was Olds powered, channeled, fenders raised up.
Yeah.
Had like sculpted running boards, lengthened hood.
I think they moved the cross member forward for the Olds.
Yeah, and it's super cool, really dark maroon.
That's what I like about Suede Palace is you get nice new cars, you get old historic or old, traditional hot rods, and you get a blend of everything.
And you get like home built cars,
Yeah.
which is I think what Suede Palace kind of started out as, but it's like you get like just the guy that built a car in his garage.
Mm-hmm.
There was a young guy that came up to me at one of the places we were at, maybe at
Kennedy
the show.
Brothers.
Yeah, it said that he had a East Coast styled Model A Roadster he built that Model A Coupe that he said he used my Pagoda City Coupe as an inspiration, and he wanted to build something a little different because it's like channeled, unchopped. So he had his car in a Suede Palace, and that was like just a couple buddies getting together and put a car. It's not some over the top, super detailed street rod or show car. Really cool to see that. That was neat that he came up and said like my fucking piece of junk might have made him inspired to build an East Coast style car.
It was actually funny full circle because the day before we were at Kennedy's on Thursday. The day before Wednesday, Matt was telling Lucky that his Model A Roadster inspired him to build hot rods, and Lucky was like, I never really thought about it that way.
Well, just like his car. It was like one of those cars. Yeah, Lucky was kind of surprised about because I try and do that when I talk to people out in the hobby and the industry. When I get to talk to somebody that has been in it a while, like try and remind them because it feels nice, but also like sometimes you get caught up in your shit and you don't realize it. So like when we talked to Piero, hung out with him like a couple years ago, I wanted to make sure that I let him know like the stuff you were doing was inspiring. Mm-hmm. We're on the other side of the country. You may not realize it, because especially when I feel like when you live in California, you get in your bubble. There's so much good shit that you don't realize that your car or something you build or whatever might have inspired somebody in the Midwest, the East Coast. And that doesn't mean that the car is over the top perfect, but like his car was it's just like the timeless Roadster. And really was like, man, I want to build, that's just a cool looking car.
And all those dudes were influential in the ham back. They were all posting on the ham back in the early 2000s.
So seeing his car and like I told him, like it was in an issue of Hop Up, and I still have it. It sits in the bathroom, and I paged through it, but like just the stupid little details on his car, were like. Got me inspired to build cars. The color was cool. I can't say that I copied his car. There was any car I built that I like use it as a guideline. It just got me stoked on building flathead powered, neat old hot rods. And that was just one of the cars that I remember specifically seeing when I was going to California. And yet Lucky didn't know me. I went to his parties back when he first had his first shops and saw his car there right after he finished, and I was like, man, this thing's fucking cool. Like, it's just cool. So it's neat to full circle have somebody say, hey, that car that you put together, and I'm just like shit on it because I think of all the stuff that I don't like about it.
All the stuff you need to fix.
Yeah. And he's like, again, other side of the country, saw it on Eastwood videos, saw it on social media, and he goes, that thing's cool. I want to build a car inspired by that. And I feel like that's what hot rodding has been since day one.
Start, yeah.
You know, a guy saw a car at a drive-in or the Dry Lakes and went home and built a car that inspired him that was built like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then forever and ever, you know, it'll be perpetual that that's going to happen in this hobby that people are building, taking a car, using it for inspiration. And if I looked at that guy, I apologize, I don't remember his first name. That dude, meeting him, if I saw that car at Sway Palace, I wouldn't have realized that my car had anything to do with his car because he made it uniquely his.
Yep.
But him telling me that, then I saw it and I'm like, oh, I could see that. Like,
yeah. And it's odd for to see in Suede Palace. It's very rare to see a channeled, unchopped car because usually
it's just not as common.
Anymore.
It's not as it's just not a common style. I mean, you see it around when you look at the internet, it might seem like it's more common, but you don't see
really
cars
not.
like that very often, except at Grand National. If it's a historic car,
yeah,
then yeah, you might see a car like that. But like otherwise, you know, Cody's car was like one of the 32 3-window, his Arden Killer. That was one of the first cars. It's like a modern build that I've seen in a while. That was at Grand National. That was that East Coast kind of style. So seeing that was really neat.
We also, our good friend Andy Kohler had built a truck for a local guy from our area that was out there, that like mint colored 32 pickup.
Yeah, that was one of our.
I forget the guy's name. He's one of our customers.
One of our customers.
Parts from us.
And he has that 32 pickups. Might be one of my favorite 32 pickups of all time. It's just so killer. I think that's channeled also.
It might be. I don't remember.
Hell yeah. But that was cool. I saw a handful of East Coast cars. There was a Merc.
Well, the Merc that was chopped was from Maryland. The blue one.
Yes. So that was cool to see.
Yeah. That 36, that black 36 over near the hop up one that we were looking at, that had the Fulton stuff on the hood.
Oh yeah.
That's probably I've been wanting to build a 36 3-window, and there was like
35. You just started changing your
35 36.
He's coming around.
Yeah.
36, baby.
But there was 2 or 3 36 3-windows at the show. That mint one that was outside, that was chopped.
Yeah, with the primered roof. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm on the market for a 36 3-window, I think.
Yeah, I think come on.
Old man over here with his tablet.
I know. Yeah, there was a lot of really there was a good variety.
That's why I do like Grand National, because there's a lot of bombs, your early Chevys that come out that are not necessarily my style, but they all have really either crazy paint, crazy interior. There was I think it was a 35 Chevy that had the 35 Cadillac taillights on it. There's big fins on it.
Yeah.
So you get a good variety of everything at that show. There's like modern street roddy stuff. There's traditional hot rod. There's low rider. It's just a good variety of everything.
Yeah, there was a bunch of the drive-in always is like the little area where it's like little surprises, because there's like little nooks and crannies where people park, and like crews or clubs or groups of friends will hang out, and it's like walking different neighborhoods of a city. Like you walk into an area and like the style of car changes, the music changes, and you're like, holy shit, this is like, I didn't see this corner. And then it's all these different cars, and then you walk over here and it's maybe like the traditional Dry Lakes kind of like home built hot rods, and you're like,
that one section by Suede Palace in that little Mexican village, it's like all low rider slammed bombs. It's like you just walk in, you're like, this is wild.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff in there. That area is like a must visit every year, and that's kind of like, I feel like that's one of those like one of the cool spots to park for sure if you want to park in there. Right outside of Suede Palace always has some really good hot rods. There was that Roadster outside. I think it might have won the hop-up pickup pick. It was like
Yeah.
a 33 Roadster
Yes.
with louvered up.
Yeah.
That car was like,
I believe that was a Dave Martinez top. I believe he posted that he did
Okay.
it. It was a really
that car was
chopped,
spot on.
great
Spot
lines.
on. Oh my God.
Perfect.
I love that car. That car was so good. Yeah, there was a bunch of just neat cars all around. There was a 28.9 Roadster out there that was, I think, on Deuce Rails. There was like a
Oh yeah,
Dry Lakes kind of car with some clamshell louvers, and I was like, I've been kind of for years wanting to build a car like that, so that was neat. I was kind of just looking it over for for inspiration, but I can't. Look, all the cars that are there, it's like hard to remember everything that was.
There's a lot.
They're yeah. So I think if you haven't been to the show, it's something you need to check out. It's always fun seeing East Coast people at the show when you're walking around. So that's always
we saw our good friend Andy on was it Thursday? We went to SoCal. SoCal Speed.
Oh yeah,
had their
SoCal Speed Shop
party.
has their party. It's mobbed. Tons of people always
are there. We just walk in and our friend Andy comes walking. He's like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" It's like, I didn't know you were gonna be here.
I knew he was gonna be there, but like he brought a couple of his father and one of his older hot rodding friends, and it was just it's cool to see local.
We're all convening in the nice SoCal weather because we're freezing our butts off here.
Yeah. So if you can make it, think about it. It's a good time. There's a lot going on, and
give yourself plenty of extra days to do shop visits. I mean, every shop. If you want to know what shop to visit, become friends with Laura Sangiovanni on Facebook. They visited.
She might not like that if everybody starts adding her, but
I think they visited like I don't know
30 shops. I don't know.
They were at like every shop of some sort is allowing visitors. So you got the early Ford store, SoCal. I mean, we only spent a little bit of time when we visited like 5 open houses and shop parties.
Other years, I've done a lot more.
Yeah.
I've never done as much as Ron and Laura and the Connecticut crew does, but I tried to hit a lot more other years. This year, we kind of did the opposite. I'm like, I more just want to hang out, and if we decide to go somewhere, great, but we're not going to like make this
grand tour.
Schedule to run around. 'Cause sometimes I feel like you're just running around from spot to spot. And while it's cool, it's
we
whatever.
did that a little bit on Thursday. We were at Kennedy Brothers for like a whole 20 minutes, and then we're like, we're going to SoCal.
Yeah, but that was it. That was all we did. We hung out the rest of the day, kind of. We did Galpin the day before, but like nothing felt rushed. So that's the cool thing. There's so much to do and see. If you follow on social media, all these different shops will post up, big and small. There's some of these guys that have small shops. It's just like 1 or 2 guys in a shop, maybe at their house.
Yeah.
And they'll have a little open house, which is really neat because you could go and see what they're working on, meet these people. That part's really fun. But this time it was like, I want to just hang out.
It was cool. We went to Lucky's shop party on Friday.
Yeah, his shop parties, he's always done shop parties. Walden did shop parties for a while also, which was pretty cool. He didn't do one this year, but Lucky's, most years does a shop party.
And we cruised. It was their friend Joe.
Their friend Joe that passed away had a F100 that he built years ago. Harrison bought it from the family or from whatever, and he has it and drives it all the time. He has his T, so he was kind of like... Actually, he texted me ahead of us coming out, was like, you can just use it. You don't even need a rental car. Just use it the whole week. And we were like, well, we didn't want to be a pain or if it'd be awkward. So we Mike rented a car in Turo, but we only used it for like
3 or 4 times.
yeah. And most of the time it was just left at somebody's house or whatever. But he let us drive that, so we got to cruise that around. It's small block powered, bagged in the rear, but it was super cool to get to drive.
That was cool to cruise it on after Lucky's party. We left at like way too late, 2 a.m. We followed Harrison and what's the guy's name? Robert to do with the T pickup.
I think it might be Robert.
Yeah. So we got like cruise with them on the highway in the middle of the night. It was kind of cool. It was a very fun experience.
Yeah, and we Lucky's party was good. He did the he does a great job. I will say, for anybody that doesn't realize this, Lucky, any of these shop parties that you go to, these people put out money out of their own pocket to put on a shop party. So like I kind of myself take it for granted. And then like being there helping Lucky put stuff away and hearing him talk about setting up. Like he puts money out, he rents tables. He gets the taco truck to come in. He's went and got ice, does all this stuff, and it's like
had to make 3 beer runs.
Yeah, like these, and it's not that he was selling beer, but like even just to have the party, to open the doors and let people come and drive their cars, he spent his own money to have an event. And he's not like out there peddling for money or trying to get customers. He just wants everybody to have a good time. And it's like money out of his own pocket. And like, yeah, he's selling some t-shirts, but there wasn't like every 15 minutes, come buy a t-shirt, help support me. Like, it was just like, we're kind of the same way with a lot of what we do. Like, there's a lot of times when we do things or you spend money as a business owner or whatever that you don't expect to get it back. But like, I kind of like, he had porta potties, that's super nice porta potties. Yes. And it's like, 90% of the people that went there did not spend a dime. They just came, hung out, left. And then at the end of the thing, he still has to pay the bills. And it's like, so that's, I think of that when you're going to any of these shop events, the people have free donuts, a taco truck, whatever. Yeah. Even if you can just buy a t-shirt,
buy a hat,
it helps out with just paying for the shop open house.
Yeah.
That's it. SoCal Speed Shop, way more convenient because they have the speed shop. You can walk in and buy parts, t-shirts, whatever. They have a store. But a lot of these like smaller shops, they're having these open houses and they're not asking for anything. And then usually they're giving free coffee, free donuts, something. And buy a t-shirt, buy stickers, do something to help them out because they're doing it for free.
Yeah, basically.
So I realized that when we were there, I'm like, man, this is crazy that he's that thoughtful to have tables. I'm like, I don't know if I would have rented tables. I'm like, I would have just asked around some of my older friends that swap meet
you got
guys.
Tables?
Yeah, could I get some folding tables?
Like bar height, high top tables. He was like, well, I was thinking about people eat Mexican, because you got a taco truck. You got to have at a table to eat a taco.
Like, you're so thoughtful.
That taco truck that he got was amazing.
Yeah.
Matt and I both had 2 dinners.
We got there early. Just in case he needed any help setting up. And I was one of the first customers. I had a burrito.
I had tacos.
And then I waited till like they were about to close at like midnight.
Yep.
And had another burrito. I had a midnight burrito.
I had a burrito as well.
It was delicious. So that was fantastic. So
we had Mexican 4 nights in a row. It was fantastic.
It was really good.
4
really
different good. Mexican places too. We didn't eat at the same place twice.
I love that.
It was awesome.
It's really good.
We both got to drive Harrison's T, which was kind of fun. That was exciting to drive.
Yeah, it's great. That thing was
surprisingly not as sketchy as everyone made it out to be.
Yeah. It looks sketchier than it feels to drive.
Yeah, I had to take my boots off to drive it. We were in the middle of a Mexican place, and I had to take my boots off in the parking lot and stuff them in the bed so I could even fit in it.
I didn't even get to see you stuffing them in.
Yeah,
it was cool to drive that. That's always fun to get to drive.
Yeah, it's
other people's cars, so that's kind of fun.
He was partaking at the restaurant. And he was just like, "Someone want to drive my tea?" It's like, I will.
Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, so I mean, overall, it was a good time.
Really good trip.
Was there any trends that you saw at Grand National itself, or themes?
It's interesting to see the non hot rod stuff that shows up there for like vendors. Like there's always like new truck body vendors. They're selling like Bronco stuff.
Yeah.
So you can see the shows trying to. He's gonna be a drooly mess now.
Well, I think anybody can vend.
Yeah.
I think if you pay enough money, they'll let anybody vend there. But you're seeing some of that stuff that's
infiltrated, and some of the stuff that they put in the buildings. Like there was all the drag boats this year.
That was pretty cool.
It was interesting to see. Something a little bit different. Nothing we would ever own or build, but wild like Hemi-powered blown drag boats.
Yeah, that was really neat. And like the 2 years ago, they had like the Zephyr display, and a bunch of Zephyr guys got together and had a big area. That was cool. Mm-hmm. So that's the one neat thing at Grand National. Every year, there's like different themes or displays or stuff that will come in, and it's pretty neat to
keeps
go.
the show from being stagnant.
Yes,
it's always different. One trend I will mention that Matt and I both saw, there was a 36 Roadster that was actually from this area. was at Brizio's shop, and they did patch panels on it. It was a patina car, pretty rough looking car.
Yeah, it's like a straight up rough.
It looks like a Woods find car, like pitted, rusty.
Or sat in a damp garage, wherever it came from.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole background on it, but it was sold by a local guy that buys and sells. And he had it for sale. He actually had Hershey one year.
Yes.
Driving around. And super cool. It's like a highly modified, Survivor.
Channeled, sectioned 36 Roadster.
Yeah, it's really neat. I think Three Dog ended up buying it from him.
Mm-hmm.
And they had it at Brizio's shop. And that car was rough. You could see it, but that looking at it, that it was rough. There was areas that were probably thin at the bottom, and it's pitted pretty good. Surprisingly enough, they didn't have Brizio restore it or redo it.
They did everything but the body. It's on a different chassis, I think. It's got like a nice interior, and it's got a brand new engine in it.
Tonneau cover they made. But we could see when we were looking at it, it was, again, a full circle moment. They patched the bottom edges of the car where they always get rot, and they dusted it and kind of repatinaed it. And you could see, if you knew what you were looking at, you could see it. And since I've done a lot of that work, I'm like, oh, I see what they did there. And it's like one of the most high-end hot rod shops in the world is doing the same shit that we're doing because we're either too poor or we just think it looks cool.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me because we get ripped apart sometimes by viewers that shit on us for not painting cars or preserving cars. Why'd you go through all that effort to get the paint matched and blend the paint in on XYZ car? And the biggest shops, so it's funny how the trends start with the low buck, kind of guys, and now the high end guys are doing it.
It's trendy now.
It's cool to do. And I think what I thought was interesting is that car, I think, is borderline I would have done that on. Because there's no paint left on it, really. So it's interesting to me. That's probably a car that I would have patched and been like, you know what, we should probably paint this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so pitted and so little paint left on it that I'm like, I don't know. I would have had a tough time with that one doing what they did. So I'm sure it drives like a brand new car and is awesome to drive now. Yeah. But
still has that ratty, shitty look.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me. And I don't know. So that was kind of neat. We were like, perfectly shitty has come to the big time.
Yeah. It was also cool to see Brian Mackey has Larry Watson's Cadillac that was found last year. I didn't know this. Mackey actually bought the car to save it and bring it back to how Larry had it when it was a show car.
Yeah, and it's fairly highly customized. Has a bunch of well-known people did work on it.
It's cool. It was in bare metal too, so you could see all the lead work where they filled and moved stuff. And Mackey's been doing a really good job on that. He's been documenting a lot of it as well.
Yeah. So Brian, I think it like you said, they were doing it on their own. I think it's on his own time.
Yeah,
a shop project. Yeah. So it's really cool to see him bring it back, find the history, taking it back. I know he had a crap ton of time I didn't realize this, but some of the lead work he had to redo because I guess he said that car was bought by a Cadillac collector who was going to restore it. So they started undoing some of the custom work. So
because it is what's the stainless steel top?
Is it a Brome or
no Brits?
Brits, okay.
So it's a very rare Cadillac to begin with, and then Larry customized it, shaved the door handles and did all this. So when they got the car, there was holes cut in the door where the door handles would have been again. Yep. So now they're redoing, and it's old lead work from the 60s. So some of it was starting to pop and, isn't as good. So
yeah, they did a great job metal finishing the car. It's really nice. And an interesting, it was a little feather in our cap. When he was doing the car, it was not that long ago, a month ago maybe.
It was September. It was right after Carlisle and Hershey. Because we had him for sale at Carlisle and Hershey.
Okay, so Brian texted me and was like, hey, you guys have a set of like Mopar adjustable spoke wire wheels, and I need them X, Y, and Z. And I guess I maybe even didn't get back to him quick enough.
Yeah, he just bought them off
He
eBay.
bought them off eBay. He had texted me, and I I didn't get back to him, as quick. I think he was worried somebody was going to buy them. So he bought them, and I got back to him, said, oh, yeah, whatever, we got them. And he said, oh, I bought them off the eBay. They're going on the Watson Cadillac. I'm like, no shit, that's killer. So we went to the show, and the car has chromed adjustable spokes on it with these old tires. And I'm like, those aren't the wheels that you bought from us. He's like, no, those are the same wheels. I'm like, what?
I guess
he's like, they went to Wheel Smith and got a really quick turnaround and got the wheels restored. And he was saying that I guess for whatever weird reason, those wheels were big Ford pattern Mopar wheels, and somebody along the Watson or whoever opened up the holes, he thinks, to make them fit the Caddy Bowl pattern. But that's what was on that car when it was shown. So he put them back on. They actually took the original tires that were on it and put them back on, and they rehydrated the tires. They're these. I took a close-up photo of them. They're these really cool, like US1 was the name on the tire, and they just like have these lines on them.
Yeah, they're neat.
So that was really cool to see that. And the original Eddie Martinez.
Yeah, the headliner's still in there.
The headliner's still in it, the original portion of the original interior. So
the coolest part is on the inside of the door jamb. The car was painted 4 different colors over its life, and they sanded off a section, and or someone else did, and you could see it transition from bare metal through the 4 different colors that Larry's painted it over the years. So it was cool. Like there's like a lot of original stuff that's still there. Like I think the carpet in it's still original.
I don't know.
Pink like shag carpet.
I don't know if that was original. They might have added that in.
Maybe.
It looked too nice.
Yeah, it's true. Hi, bud.
But yeah, so that car was really cool to see. He's done a great job. He and I were BSing when we were at the show. We're like, holy crap, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, like
20 years or something like that. When his shop was kind of just getting going, I met him at SEMA because he did a
eBay
Motors partnership where they did like this build off for an eBay Motors video series, and he built I think like an Econoline van or something, and he did a bunch of lead work. Eastwood supplied parts or product to all the builders, and I went and did a interview with Brian when I started, it was early on in my career with Eastwood, and it was really neat. And it's cool from me watching him to watch him evolve into what their shop is now, and they're building the type of stuff they want to build. And early on, they were doing maybe stuff doing whatever, and just now it's like the bills, yeah. So now it seems like they've curated some of the cars they're doing. Now they're doing a Survivor custom, and it's like, and the quality of work has just been going up and up and up. So been really cool. Brian's been a really great guy. A bunch of us slept in his small little apartment above his shop.
Yep, 2 of us slept on the floor.
2 of us in too small of a bed, I think.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that was good. That was the first time I ever met Brian, because we didn't visit his shop when we were there in 19, but in 20, we just like flew in, landed. He was like, "You guys can crash?"
I had texted him ahead of time, and he was like, again, one of these people that's always been nice. If you ever need a place to stay, whatever, blah blah blah, hit me up. So like, I just texted him one time, and he's like, "Yeah, you can stay in my apartment." The little spare bedroom they have type deal above the shop. And I'm like, well, I got 4 guys. He's like, I don't know how you're going to make it work, but you guys could stay in the shop. And they threw us the keys to the shop, and we stayed overnight in the shop. It was awesome. Yeah. So, like, I love old car hobby. It's just, I've said it a bunch of times. It reminds me of skateboarding, BMXing, punk rock. Like, the hot rodding, the real hot rodding world is the same thing. Yeah. You meet a dude one time from a different part of the world. You get a good vibe. Here's the keys to my car. Here's the keys to my shop. You could stay, and you become you become friends. You don't talk for years, and it's the same thing. So
that's how it feels with Harrison, Lucky, and Piero. We hung out with them like a little bit the first time we were there, or last time we were there in 24. just like we were old friends that have always hung out together.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Good. So I have so many friends like that in the hobby that I've met, hobby in the industry
Yeah.
that I've met over the years that maybe they worked at Hot Rod Magazine and, I, on a professional level, got to know them, but became friendly. And then, fast forward to what we're doing now, you hit them up and they're just like, yeah, man, whatever. You could ship parts to my shop and, whatever. Like, it's just like, I love that part of the hobby. And that's what going around to the different events is really, really fun. You see people that you only get to see once in a while. We do it on our side of the country. People crashing on my couch, coming to stay, shipping parts here, leaving their car in my shop because they're visiting a show from out of town. And, the Delaware guys come and for Wheels of Time and they park their cars in my shop. It's like, stay with me. Like, that's just reciprocate that.
Yep.
That's what's awesome. So
what hot rodding's all about.
That's it. Car community is great. So, but yeah, that was kind of a rundown on our trip. It was a lot of fun. Again, if you haven't been, you should go.
Yes.
Oh, the Sloanaker, a Volkswagen one.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting to see a Carmen Ghia one.
They opened it. I mean, it's kind of like opened up like the Riddler, where it could be like whatever.
Yeah.
And
Truck,
again,
car.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, most of them, but the work on this stuff is out of this world, and it was cool to see a Volkswagen win.
Yeah. I don't think there was any like traditional style cars in the Sloanaker this year.
Not that I saw. No.
Yeah, I didn't look at them that close. A lot of times it's like there was a bunch of muscle cars this year. There was like a Roadrunner. I think there was a Chevelle or a Nova. So it's like it's a mixed bag of a little bit of everything. Basically, non-roadster award is what they're competing for.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do like a Riddler, a version of the Riddler out there. And it's neat. So it adds an extra layer because now you got this other building that's filled with Sloanaker cars.
Our friend Cody competed last year with his 32.
Yes, the very traditional styled car. But yeah, so that was good. I don't pay attention to like best custom, best everything because there's so many awards. It's hard to pay attention to what all that is. But that was pretty neat. Oh, the one other thing that was neat before we wrap it up that was surreal. We went to the early Ford store.
Yeah.
And our business has grown so much over the last 5 years that it's neat going now to the early Ford store and we like feel their pain now. We like go and like there's just like stuff in every corner and just piles of cool shit everywhere. And we're like, man, I know what it feels like to have like a giant stack of axles or steering boxes or whatever. This time, Mike and I went specifically just to see, like, it's cool to go there. Number one, it's always neat to go there and see what's there. But we went this time to kind of see how they arrange stuff, how they organize things, because we're on the verge of making the move to the mill.
And honestly, they have the smallest amount of space. Like, it's like a quarter the size of our pole barn. It's like pretty small.
Yeah.
So like it's cool to see how they organize in a manner of such a small space and the amount of stuff that they have inside of there.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see, like, we saw how they organize some of their stainless. It's like, oh, that's a good idea. We could do something similar this way. It helps us figure out how to organize it in a better manner.
Yeah, and it's seasoned in a real life situation. Like they've been there forever. It's lived in.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, you look at it and you're like, well, that probably was a good idea for this, but now it's overflowing or it's hard to get to. And it's like, so we saw some of what they probably deal with, but it gave us some ideas for different stuff that we could do that was like, oh, okay, like if we, do it this way, that might be kind of a neat idea of how to handle organizing the stuff. And so that was cool to go from a different perspective. We didn't spend as much time as we do other times there, but it was fun to go and look around. They had always crazy there. It's like 32 Roadster body just randomly stuffed in the corner, and you're like, oh, there's that.
And then there was 32 3-window. It's just crazy everywhere. It's sensory overload.
100%.
Yeah, there's just cool shit everywhere.
And that place is always
it's a must visit.
It's always great to see and visit, and they're very friendly. They don't care about anybody taking photos or video or, just kind of wandering around. There was a Model A Woody there was actually from Pennsylvania. There was like a survivor that
It
was
like Pittsburgh area.
It was phenomenal. That was really cool to see. So they always have like the best survivors.
Yes.
There. It's really cool. So that's a wrap up on a trip.
We're ready for next year.
Yeah, we're ready to go again. And gave me some inspiration to get back on my, that's the other big reason. If you're from anywhere in the country, but especially if you have wintertime, you go there, get stoked on warm weather, finishing your projects, driving your cars, all that kind of stuff is what the big reason I like going to Grand National. So after going and hanging and driving old cars, riding in old cars, seeing neat stuff, it's like, okay, I want to get home and get busy on projects and get stuff
We've
going.
also decided we need to build a car to send out there.
I think that might be...
So we can drive around in something while we're out there.
Yeah, so that might be on the horizon. We'll see.
Has to be a Model T, though. You'll understand if you watch the Lucky podcast. You'll get that reference.
Yeah, T's are big, man. They're in. They're in. So we might need to cobble something together and send it out there to stash somewhere in somebody's garage.
Lucky made the mistake of offering, I'm going to have some extra space in the shop. You can keep it here.
I might be able to rent some space. And I'm like, ooh, all right.
That might be a bad thing to offer.
That would be really, really cool. I know there's a bunch of people that do that live in other parts of the country and they store their car at like SoCal Speed Shop.
Yeah.
So it would be pretty cool to be able to have a car that we could just hop in and cruise around. So like a T Roadster pickup would be a good one. We'll see. I don't know, but
I'm liking this idea.
I only have like one or two cars that are almost finished. So
we don't have a long list of things we need to do.
I'm right on the horizon of finishing all my cars and starting a new project. It seems like a totally sane idea.
Very logical.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's what we've brought out of this. Maybe I need another project car
on the 3,000 miles away.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was our adventure. Quick little BS session. If you guys don't know, we do these weekly. You could subscribe on Spotify, Apple, all the
YouTube.
You
can also watch them on YouTube.
You can watch it on YouTube. So
good thing we're an hour and a half into this podcast to mention that.
Yeah, whatever. So do the damn things. Hit the button. Hitting the button. Pew pew pew.
On that note, thanks guys for watching.
Thanks guys. We're gonna go do something. Check you later.